Hey, welcome to another episode of Everything NYC podcast, where we talk about business, careers, dating, politics, and tourism. Now, this is a special episode because this is our introduction. This is the episode where we're on the couch answering the questions. And this is a chance for us to open up a bit. And we're really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, so today we have a special guest that's going to be introducing us. Here you see a familiar face, Erin. And this should be interesting because we're not used to being on the couch. So now we're out of our comfort zone. So let's see where this goes.
So first question that I'm going to ask is, how did you guys get into this? Like, did it just like fall into your lap? Was it something you thought about for like a few years?
Yeah, so I'll start it off. This is actually something that I've been thinking about for maybe 2 years now, just thinking about it. And the first, I was honestly talking about it with a friend of mine. We were going out and we were talking about initially starting like some type of dating podcast, right? That's when the idea came up. We were like, man, we got some funny stories.
We definitely do.
We were like, man, we got some funny stories. This would be very entertaining. We're social guys, so maybe we should have some type of like dating podcast. And he had mentioned he wasn't down for it. So I thought, okay, cool. I'll just put it in the back of my mind. And over time, the idea just kept popping up. And we've gotten a chance to travel extensively over the past few years. And we took out a trip out to Madrid. And while we were out in Madrid, the first question people ask is, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? And then, of course, you have to keep repeating yourself. But, eventually people ask, like, okay, why are you here? But they, one thing I always ask is, all right, when was the last time you visited New York City? And I was just shocked at the amount of people that mentioned that they've never had the opportunity to visit New York City. And that's when maybe the light bulb just went off and I just started thinking, man, maybe if I could just find a way to show New York City to the world, the good, the bad, the ugly. I've always lived here, and the people that live here, you have that love-hate relationship. Some days you're like, oh man, this is a great place. And other days you're like, whoa, I can't wait to get out of here and go someplace warm and go someplace with lower taxes. So, that's how the idea, came to mind. And then from there, I called him. It was last year. I gave him a call and I walked him through it, and he was sold. He was sold, and I thought, all right, this is the person I'm going to do it with. And, one of the reasons I called him, because I've known him for a while. He's responsible, and most importantly, he has money. So I was like, hey, for anyone that starts a business, you got to have that disposable cash.
You got to have that investor who has the money.
Exactly.
You would know. Yeah.
He has money, because I know if I'm going to be putting up cash, to invest in this, I need someone that's also going to have cash to invest in it as well. If we're going to go with some type of 50-50, then they got to meet me at the table with it. Like, let's be honest, right? So I knew he had some disposable cash, and I thought, all right, this is the best place to put it to work.
Yeah, I mean, and like he said, we knew each other since second grade, so our chemistry is like automatic. Like we're outside every day. We stepping in these streets every single day of our lives. So we meet people and we talk to people, we interact with people, and it's like we knew each other our whole lives, and these are strangers. So I knew we had to gift the gap, and I was like, yeah, maybe this would make a lot of sense for us to just do something like this, because especially in New York City, I don't see anybody else doing it how I know we could do it. So I say we need to take advantage, get some of this money. So, since I'm rich, I still want to make more money though. So according to him, it's real simple.
All right, so you guys talk about how you knew each other since second grade. Where are you guys from?
I mean, me and him, we're from Brooklyn, from Canarsie to be exact, from the Floss. That's what we call it, stuff like that.
Yeah, all the way last stop on the L train.
On the L train, man. I mean, if you over there, you should probably know some people, because it's a little funny over there. Let me just say that. We on camera and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think being from Canarsie is important to our story because people from Canarsie tend to have a certain, I guess you could say, swag to them, certain personality to them. I guess it's like you just walk out the door thinking like you're just that guy.
Yeah.
You just think like, all right, I'm just that guy. I could do anything I want. And you just have the utmost confidence. And then you develop the street smarts. But what's very important about being from this particular neighborhood is that it forced us to be in a position where we've always laid low.
Yes. Yes, they say.
Right. So this is something that's brand new for us, right? Being on front of the camera, like we're not used to that because growing up it's just like you don't want to draw that attention. You don't want to put the target on your back. You don't want to be out there in front of everyone. You just want to be the guy laying low, away from all the noise and attention. So, we've seen like this transition where everybody just wants to be on camera. And we just saw like, man, there's a lot of foolishness going on. And we just thought, you know what, maybe it's time for us to step outside of our comfort zone a bit, switch it up. Maybe it won't be such a big deal to turn a camera on and start speaking, right?
Yeah, we do it every day. And you got to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
So, and we grew up literally next door. So like I would come outside in my backyard. I'll be playing basketball in the backyard. He'll hear the banging. He'll just come out and be like, oh, yeah, I'm coming. And he'll just run out, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we every experience he been through, I've been through it. Like we've seen pretty much the same things.
Yeah. We've
a lot of the same things.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of things over the years, good and bad, that we won't get into all on this particular episode. We'll get into it as we go along further on this journey. But we've seen a lot of things, and I could give one particular story where we were kids. We were back in high school. I remember we went away for 2 days.
We
went away for 2 days, right? Just a quick trip, and boom, dudes broke into your house. Dudes just broke into your house, and that just goes to show like that's maybe the main reason why we were always like, all right, we're gonna remain low key. We're gonna stay away from all the goofy stuff going on outside, and just not put the target and get all the attention. Right? We didn't want to be those attention-seeking dudes.
No, they get touched very easily.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and they broke into my house, to be specific, and literally stole a PS3, and that's it.
Yeah,
nothing
exactly.
They didn't touch money, nothing. Just PS3. I don't know.
Yeah, they took the PlayStation because it was right near the exit too. Yeah, I remember it was near the exit.
In the basement.
Grabbed that, and they was out of there.
It's clearly an inside job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
These are the type of people that this is the environment we grew up in. Just to let you know the type of people that were around.
Yeah, I'll give another funny story where in my neighborhood I had gotten a new bike. And then I remember I had let you borrow that bike. Yeah, I had let you borrow the bike. And this idiot went to go to someone's place, I think, to just hang out. You left the bike outside.
It's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, left
unhooked.
Exactly, unhooked. Dude left my bike outside, and then it's just like he ends up telling me the day like, hey, the bike is gone. And I'm thinking, what do you mean it's gone? I'm like, I just bought this bike, like brand new, and he's like, man. Man, that bike is gone, man. I have no idea
where. It's a little funny to me. I can't really remember that one.
That bike was gone. So, there you go. It's like, man, I get something brand new and it already gets taken. So, fortunately for me, I was driving around with my cousin in a whole nother neighborhood, and we actually saw the same bike. Let's just say I managed to get the bike back without filing a police report.
What a coincidence.
So
that was nice and lucky.
Yeah,
so lucky, so lucky. Oh my God!
Ended up finding the dude. Hopped out the car. I won't get out. Go into the specifics, but we're on camera. But let's just say I ended up getting my bike back. So yeah.
Well, at least you got the bike back. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a few hours, but
thank God.
Better to have it than not have it.
So you're right. Yeah, Erin, you smart. You smart.
Yeah. So what's your personal backgrounds? Like, you guys knew each other for 2 years, but like, where do you guys come from in terms of like career path?
Okay, go for it.
All right, so I think this is a good combination because I'm the white collar guy. My background is in finance. I've been working in finance since the age of 16. All right, my first job wasn't working as like a cash register person or anything like that. Like, let me tell you, if I was to be like a bartender or a server, I would just drop everything on the floor. No, my first job was working in an investment bank at the age of 16. I've been in this game for a while, investing in stocks for a while. Now I focus more on real estate finance, specifically affordable housing. So I love what I do, and the way I think about it is, I have that. And then I also have this other passion, which is providing this amazing content to you guys.
That's the main. And me, because, I'm Jamaican, so I've had many jobs in my life, many jobs at a very young age. And I went up, and then I became a police officer, actually, for the city, NYPD. And then I did that for 4.5 years. And then I pivoted away from that, and now I work for the state. So now I'm like in a much better position in life, where I have more free time to do things like this. I'm also involved in real estate, I'm a landlord, have tenants and stuff like that. And, this podcast is about to do something else for my life. I'm always dibbling and dabbling. I'm all over the place.
So that's important that you mentioned the real estate. He bought his place first, and then once I saw he did it, I was thinking, all right, maybe it's time for me to do the same thing. So.
Gotta put your money in places where it could always grow.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we'll get into that in other episodes of this podcast, right?
Well, yeah, it seems like you guys have a lot of stories as well. I'm sure it's going to be many, many episodes too, because of all like those stories that are. I can't wait to hear about.
Oh, you're gonna hear it.
I know I'm gonna hear it.
You're gonna hear it. Definitely.
So let's now pivot a little bit, because you said originally when you wanted to start this, it was going to be just about dating. How did you get into it being about all these different topics? So like politics, career, fitness, because dating is just one aspect of everything. And obviously you guys are called Everything NYC.
Yes.
So what made you go from dating and adding in all the other topics?
I didn't want to just be another dating podcast, honestly. I see too many.
You guys probably have so many stories though about it that you could.
We have a few. I think he's gonna go into a few of them. Right?
Finish.
He's gonna go into a few of them. But I think with this podcast, what I wanted to do differently was to focus on a specific area. Rather than just topics. So wanted to focus and narrow down on the area, New York City, and then thought about what would be relevant towards that particular area. So dating, of course, we're gonna go and have some amazing episodes going into that, because the dating scene in New York is how would you describe it?
I mean, it's a wasteland.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say chaotic.
I'd say maybe let's go with chaotic.
Yeah, let's go with that. So, I'm glad you're here.
The dating scene in New York, you definitely have to mention that. But I wanted to talk about other topics because I'm interested in business, careers, politics, especially living in New York City, where you see the liberal politics and you see the how everything has been mostly one-sided, right? So I just wanted to get a balanced view on the politics. And then the last piece of it, the tourism, I wanted to show New York City to the world. Show New York City to the world for anyone that's curious about visiting, for anyone that's curious about moving here. But also that content would also be relevant to the folks that actually live here too, because think about how many people live here but don't know about certain things to do, right? Don't know about certain restaurants, or don't know about some of the cool things that's available here.
Yeah, that is true. And the dating side of the podcasting world is very oversaturated. So we didn't want to just follow suit and follow everything else we see. We wanted to add different aspects to it.
So do you have a good dating story you could share with the world?
That was kind of random.
It's like a little tidbit. It's their introduction.
Exactly.
Give them a little taste, so this way they'll always come back.
Okay, I could say one that happened pretty recently that went up and down very quickly. This would have been a bad investment, but and like I said, we outside a lot, so I have a lot more stories to come. That was just like a little, just to give you a little gist.
Stay tuned.
A little gist of the respect in New York, the dating scene. What about you? You're kind of quiet over there. Like,
I think you want to.
Shades on. You're very reserved.
Yeah, no, he got shades on.
You can put the hoodie on at any time and just like slip down.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to give a story too.
Yeah, I think you should.
This one for me was.
It's a good thing you made it out because we couldn't have started everything NYC podcast.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
I made it out.
I'm glad you're here, man.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have more stories.
Yeah, we have a lot. We have way too much stories, man. We have way too much. I mean.
And then one other question that I have for you guys is, oh shoot, what was it? I had it, and then I was listeking to the story, and I'm not gonna lie, I was so intrigued by the story
it messes up your
that
head.
it had me like going, and I'm like, is this gonna keep taking a turn? Because it really kept taking a turn.
I was about to start crying.
But you talk about how this is like an outlet too, and obviously letting people know to like seek therapy as well. Like, but do you think this is like good for people to hear as well, especially for those who, feel like, everybody feels in their own right, like, does this only happen to me type situation? And is this like another way for like put that out there so they don't just feel like it's just happening to me?
We're here to like connect and give people something to relate to because they can hear our stories. Because some men are definitely, like you said, going through things and they think they're the only ones. But we're here to say, nah, we here with you. We here with you. We like I said, big toe, baby toe, we're outside stepping every single day. So everything that they're going through, we're going through. So you don't have to feel alone. Just watch our show, and then you can see that we're all the same.
Yeah, and what I really wanted to accomplish was just provide some solutions along the way. For the dating. Just telling men, have some respect for yourself.
That too.
That's one. And two, focus on yourself before you get out here, start chasing women. I see too many dudes chasing, and you ask them, what they want to accomplish in life and what's their plan, and they can't even tell you. They can't even tell you because they're too busy chasing. And guys, you can't chase women and chase goals simultaneously. There's going to be one that's going to suffer. And unfortunately, I've seen where the goals have suffered. And you never want that, right? Because the women in New York City, they're not going anywhere. They're single today. Check in with them next year. They're going to be single next year, okay?
Single in 10 years, 15 years.
They're going to be single, guys.
You can retire, they're still going to be single.
They're still going to be here, okay? Just focus on yourself. Get your money up, all right? Get your money up and also invest in your mind. Yeah. Right? Like I mentioned, the therapy. Get your mind right. I don't want to see any more guys opening up to their women emotionally. It's just like, oh my God, just trying to dump all of their past trauma.
Turn into a third person.
Yeah, trying to dump all their past trauma that they've dealt with their family. On their girlfriends. Don't do it.
As a man, you should be focused on self-improvement and building yourself. You have to become something.
Exactly.
For anybody to respect you.
Exactly.
You have to become something. You can't be out here just lollygagging with your life, man.
And the big problem you'll see in New York City, there's a lot of guys that have certain accomplishments, and these guys will use their accomplishments and throw it in women's face as a way to build attraction. And I think it's disgusting, honestly. No, you can't use that and think like, women are going to be attracted to that. No. That's just not the way it works. So.
And a woman's just going to look at you. First of all, a woman has to visually be attracted first before you even could start the conversation trying to impress her.
Oh, absolutely.
Because as you heard her speak, Erin spoke.
It's always a visual first. It's the same when you look at somebody's dating profile. It's a visual.
Exactly.
They could have all these great accolades, but like if I don't like the way you look and I'm supposed to look at that face for the rest of my life.
Wake up.
I can't be there just because you have those great accolades.
Exactly. You have to work on yourself. Self-improvement, that's the key, especially for men.
Yeah. And then we also want to we're eventually going to cover the topic of, men and women are just completely different and they look for completely different things and they can move in different ways in life. And, for women, they have they have the opportunities to use their beauty, right?
Yeah.
So with men, look, you gotta build something. All right, you gotta be someone, and that's just the way the world works. Okay, I didn't make the rules. Did you make the rules?
No, I wish I did though.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wish I did.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I mean, because a woman, in order for her to even do anything with you, she has to have a comfortable place to nest and somewhere to feel safe. If your life is just in shambles all over the place, you got a baby over there, a girl over there, side piece of, like, it's like, how could a woman even take you serious? You have to have structure to your life.
Yeah, so we're gonna provide those solutions.
We're gonna bring people together, everything.
So ladies, for the single ladies, if you're looking for that quality dude, we have the quality dudes. We want to make introductions. We want to bring people together. We're about solutions, so we'll get into that along
everything
this
NYC. That's what we do, solutions. And men, we could treat this like career building and help you find a path in life. Like, not just even about dating, just about focusing on yourself. Whatever you need to work on, trust me, let me know and I will tell you. I'll be brutally honest and help you out. Because I've been there. We all been there. We all been in the negatives. We all started off. We all been in the mud at some point in our life. All of us. All of us been struggling, looking at our bank account, see a whole bunch of red. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, our bank account bleeding or something. Like, why is there so much red in this bank account? Like, what is this?
There's been times I've been up, down, back up, but you just gotta keep getting up, honestly, right?
Learn. That's how you learn.
Like you're in a boxing match. You just gotta pick yourself back up and get back into the fight, because no one cares about your excuses.
Nobody.
Okay?
Nobody.
No one wants to hear it. So solutions.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
I mean, that's really good. I also like that part about how you guys are going to be playing matchmakers and then career matchmakers too. That's really good.
We're tired of the excuses. We're here to just create the change.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So on the careers front, if we want to hear from the interesting people in New York City, from the interesting business owners, the people that have the interesting careers.
How did you start?
We want to know your story. We want to know, what exactly did you do to get into it? What was your strategy? How are you navigating it through now? What are the lessons you learned, the steps you took? We want to know all about it, because how many people are sitting in their living room thinking, man, how do I get out of this career?
In their living room in a basement. not just looking at the ceiling, like this, figuring out how can I make $1?
Yeah,
you could go even lower. How can I make $1?
And exactly. And what I want to stress is you could really change your life around in a year.
Right.
You could really change. If we want to provide that guidance, you could really change your life in 1 year. I'm going to be perfectly honest. You could change your life in 1 year.
That's 12 months, just in case.
Yeah, you could change your life.
52 weeks.
You could completely change your life for the better and for your family in a short period of time.
Very short.
But it requires discipline.
Yes, it does. And then you have to create the steps to take to get to the goal.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about on this pod is building the cash pile. And to get to that cash pile, you have to have the skill or the education, okay? So the education, maybe you're a college guy, okay? Maybe you've gotten your master's, whatever it is, that's the education. And then you've entered your field. It could be medicine, law, business, whatever it is. And then the skill side of it, maybe you're not a college person and you could take a completely different route to get to that cash pile. And then once you develop that cash pile, you have your savings. Now you could do one or two things. You could either take that cash pile, invest it into yourself, right, and watch that multiply. Or if you're not willing to do that, you could place it into certain assets, okay? And these are the assets that are going to generate returns for you. This isn't too complicated, honestly, and we'll get into all of that.
Or if you want to jump out the window as a hard worker, you could do both. You could have a career, be an entrepreneur. You go to trade school. If you don't want to go sit in a classroom and learn about statistics and math and stuff like that, there's many different things you could do.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to help you find where you sit. And then once we find that, we push you forward and get you where you need to go. Like, it's really not hard because we've been through it, like I said. So it's very easy to guide.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, we're 32. So we're a little young, but we've been through so much, we old. So it's like, all right, we got a little bit of stuff figured out. So anything you need to know, you can just contact us, and we'll let you know. The Instagram is gonna be on the bottom. So
is that another goal that you guys want to do as well, especially into the future, like being mentors for young men as well?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Like little kids. It doesn't even have to be, it could be young men, little kids. Because they don't have God, like as you can see.
Like anyone trying to get into anything, really.
It could be kids, like mentoring them, like, because nobody has the guidance. There's a lot of single parent households. A lot of males, you can even say, are not even used to seeing men doing something with themselves. So, because like when you're growing up, how many times have you seen a doctor come in and talk about being a doctor and stuff like that? When we're growing up, always seeing in the streets, dudes doing this and that. So we think, all right, let's do that. And then that's how people get caught up, get in trouble. Now you get something on your record, now you can't even get a job.
Yeah, we see a lot of basketball players.
Yeah, that's why everybody wants to play basketball.
Yeah, we've done every stereotype you could think for guys like us. We've done it. Basketball. I remember we had a rapping career for a little bit. We had a rapping career.
It thrived a little bit.
What was the group name? Or were you individuals, like separate away from each other? So did you each have a name?
We was actually together. So the background story with that is we started that in high school, and we just thought, you know what? We were in my living room, and it was one day we just had like a microphone in the living room, just started just going, and it was random, something that was real random, and then we brought it over to school. People told us like, hey, this is actually good.
Have something.
Like you guys have something. And that just like, okay,
entrepreneur.
Let's just do that. So as soon as classes were done, we would just run into the studio, and we put out our first project. That was just us two. Just literally, at that period of time, you could find beats on, what was it, LimeWire?
LimeWire.
So I was like, all right, I'm in my living room looking at different beats to use, and then we would just start just writing some rhymes, and we were going along with it, and it worked.
And it works because it started off with me and him, but then everybody saw us thriving, selling albums in school, making profit.
Yeah.
So then everybody else want to hop on with us.
Yeah.
Because they saying, oh yeah, it's working. I never seen this before. Okay, y'all going in the right direction. That's how you could lead the way for people.
Yeah.
And we were 17 years old.
Yeah.
And it always kicked them. Even in high school, I was selling candy every day. I had like a little box right here. Yo, Welch's, you want something? Putting Kit Kats, like stuff that doesn't belong in a box, selling it. Then I'll stack the money up. And that's how I bought the PlayStation that they stole from me.
Yeah.
So then I kept doing it, and I bought another one. So hey,
you bought another one. So
the next one didn't get stolen, right?
No. We put like a little gate on the window and stuff like that.
Did you put like a little tracker on it too?
No,
how they used to have those like big trackers on them.
No, that was
not like how they have the little air tag now.
Yeah, it's different now. That was a little expensive though. We was broke, so we ain't doing that.
So when we had a bunch of hustles, I remember we had the Welch's. You remember the Welch's fruit snacks?
Sell it every day. I had the box right here.
You get the big box from, what was it, BJ's?
BJ sell everything in bulk.
Oh yeah.
So then you just buy it, put it in there. Yo, $1, give me
$1. Give me $1.
You know. I mean, I do the same thing with my protein powder at work.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know,
every time they take a scoop, they owe me $1.
Yeah,
I'm the one who bought it. You gotta like help me.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So look, it started off a young age, and getting back to the rapping, it was something that was also an outlet for us, and it was a way to express ourselves, and we added comedy to it. That was the thing, that
comedic relief.
Yeah, so that was the way of us being different, and people fell in love with it. So I remember we would just burn a ton of CDs. And then what we would do is, like, he would take maybe 70, 80 CDs. I would take 70, 80, and then we would go to school. And then whichever ones we had left over, we would travel to different schools and be like, hey, we're selling this. Come listen to this. And we would get on the bus, train, go to different schools, be like, hey, listen to this. And he's talking about, maybe 150 CDs being sold, 200 CDs being sold. So
platinum, we went platinum.
And then this was when MySpace.
MySpace was probably put it on MySpace.
Was taking off. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you could put like your song on there for your profile.
And mind you, we were 17 years old with 32 now, and people till this day from high school, yo, I remember the albums. They still talk about it now. Yeah. Like they still talk about it now like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll be in the locker room, people run up to me, I'm half naked. Hey, let me get an album. I'm like, okay, all right, just back up a little bit. Just back up. Like I'm telling you, when people see you doing something, I don't know what it is. When people see you doing something, they just want to be around you. They just love that energy. They just want to attach themselves to you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're creating something.
Yeah.
And they want to get that energy from you as well, I think.
Exactly. And it's so
because
rare.
you created something out of something that you didn't think you could.
And it's so rare, especially like, you know, our community, stuff like that, for people to be creating, and like doing something, because people typically do the same things, but they see somebody do something different and it's working. They want to attach themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah, like when you were talking about like doing the basketball and then you went into doing the rapping and selling CDs. Yeah, so you went from doing what everybody else was doing to creating something.
Being a change. Don't follow. Always try to lead, but you gotta follow first to be a leader, though. But we're gonna talk about that later. A couple of episodes after. Yeah.
Anything else you guys like want to let anybody know about too?
Just stay tuned for some interesting content. It's so funny because I remember last year, I would just be in my apartment, just opening up my notes phone, notes on my iPhone, and just typing up different notes. Like, all right, you know, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this. And I remember there was times I would call him, and I was like, oh yeah, I was on a date, and like this is. I was like, look, this is what happened. And he would say, all right, yeah, this would be good. We could eventually talk about that. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be
write it down. The best times of my life, he telling me them stories.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was the funniest times.
Some funny stories, man. Some funny stories. But
y'all gonna hear them.
Yeah, you know, we'll eventually get to that in later episodes. But we have some interesting content planned for you guys that's just been sitting there in the notes app for a while, that is finally coming to fruition. So
yeah, and then like I said, we're gonna be physical. We're gonna be outside, up and down, out and about. Especially when it gets warm, because you know it's freezing outside right now.
Oh yeah, you can't do that out now. Nobody will want to talk to you because it's so cold.
They'll be like, yo, get out of here, get away from me. So I'm like, all right, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Whereas like maybe in the summer, you like maybe like reel them in with like free ice cream or something. Exactly. Be like, hey, you want to be on camera? Here's an ice cream cone for later.
Exactly. We're going to be outside a lot more. It's not just studio work. It's going to be a lot more. Changing the game, podcasting game.
No, that's good too, because most people are usually stay inside.
Exactly. So
that's a real game changer for it as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I do want to add that if you ever bring in food and you need a host for food, I will gladly be there.
You're going to be around a lot. You're going to be around a lot.
Thank you.
You're natural.
Oh,
you're natural.
So, I think because I have to talk all day at work, so that's why.
Exactly.
You're used to it.
So, you know, don't forget, stay tuned, because you'll eventually see the website. Your website's coming, you know, it's pretty soon. So that's going to be interesting for you. And then for us, we got this content that's on its way. And we are excited about this launch.
Very excited.
What's the first few episodes? What is it? State of the Dating Market?
State of the Dating Market, career episodes. And this will be the first batch. So,
Oh yeah.
Y'all definitely gonna like it, man.
So yeah, we're gonna start off with State of the Dating Market. And like I said, ladies, look, Valentine's Day is coming up. I know you might be thinking Galentine's. I know that's like the thing. I know
dinner for one?
Yeah, dinner for one.
Well,
self-love.
50% off chocolate after Valentine's Day.
Oh, no.
That's a great one.
There you go.
Yeah, they're gonna eat all that chocolate and come to you for training. So
Exactly.
It'll work out for me.
It all works.
Valentine's Day is always a big day, because every girl, they're thinking like, oh man, like if I don't get taken out and I've been dating this dude, then that means I was the side piece.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got the other ones, they're just doing dinner for one.
Yeah, that's depressing. Very depressing.
So what we want to do is we want to connect people. We want to connect.
That's it. We're trying to change everybody's lives.
Yeah, we want to connect people. We know it's crazy out here, but we wouldn't say is that before we connect people, we want to make sure like your mind is right. You know, we want to identify the weirdos and kind of move them over to the side a bit.
Hopefully they get it together on their own.
Yeah, we want to make sure your mind is right before we start connecting. And that's it.
Got a lot planned.
It's really good. And then when you talk about connecting people, like, because I know we were talking about like the matchmaking, do you also think like connecting people in terms of friendship as well? Like people who could grow together in friendship, maybe in business too, type situation?
Definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we're gonna have some.
You guys seem like really great that you always want to expand everything. Yeah,
touch the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're gonna have episodes with people in various careers and businesses, and if you want to get connected to someone, reach out to us directly, and then we'll we'll see exactly how we get set that up.
We're like the middleman.
Yeah, but one thing I would say, look, let's be honest, for business and careers, if you want to get connected to someone, okay, you have to bring something to the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just come from scratch.
Please do not be the person trying to get connected to someone to suck up resources. Don't be that individual.
Give and take.
All right. It's always a give and take. Every relationship in life, whether it's dating, business, is always a give and take. And you have to think about what can you offer to the marketplace. Okay. If you have an education or skill to offer to the marketplace, you have something unique, some type of product, something, then okay. We could definitely help out there.
Yeah, it's either you're useful or you're useless. And if you're useless, stay your ass home, man.
All right.
Well, you can just listen to the podcast too.
Yeah. It's always comment, like, subscribe.
Yeah, even if just comment, yes, like, and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, we got you.
You want everybody to listen.
Exactly.
You'll learn.
Yeah.
You'll learn from us. You're definitely gonna learn from us.
Exactly.
You can relate to us.
Well, thank you guys. That was really like a really great introduction.
Thank you. We try. We try.
And you gave that little tidbit about the horror stories too. So
Yeah,
like
that's
the dating horror stories.
little baby stories.
little things. Yeah,
stories.
I'm sure we'll hear a lot more.
It gets dark.
Yeah. Oh, it gets dark. Okay. Are there any like happy moments
Freddie
too?
versus Jason.
Like,
There's plenty of happy moments.
Okay.
Yeah, plenty of happy
Like,
moments.
make sure that it's not just.
But we want to
horror,
connect. We want to connect.
Well, obviously, yeah. But just want to also make sure that like for those out there that it isn't all just horror stories.
No.
Yeah.
It's a lot of love in our hearts, man.
Oh yeah.
A lot of love in our hearts, man.
And I am going to ask one more question.
Okay.
Because I'm sure everybody wants to know.
Uh-oh. What's this?
Are you guys like in relationships?
Oh, I
Are you
knew
guys
she was eventually going to get to. I knew she was going to get to that.
You had to know that I was going to ask it.
I knew she was going to get to that.
Or are you like, I'm so chill and I'm not going to tell you guys type situation?
The crazy thing about me is like I'm actually in a relationship.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but the funny thing is you met her too. You too. Both of you met her. Her name is Everything NYC Podcast.
There you go.
So there you go. That's my girlfriend's name. All right.
There you go.
There's your answer.
There's your answer.
All right.